Hello and welcome back to Tammy's Dolls, and tonight I come to you with a question that was given to me by a young lady named Tiffany. Now I'm going to say young lady because I don't know if you're young or old, but it doesn't matter. We can be young at heart because we love to collect our dolls. But here it goes. She has an older doll, about in the 30s I would say, maybe squeaking towards the 40s. But anyhow, as it may be, the doll that she showed me had paint lifting, and that she was questioning about should she keep the body or not keep the body to the doll. Now, I don't know what she meant by that. By keeping, does it mean to her that she's going to put the body back onto the doll, or was she going to throw the body away? So we're going to look at both of that, those questions there, so I can cover it all with her. Because I didn't really ask her. I just said I was going to make a video and I was going to go with it on what I just read. And I can't find your your email that you sent me. I don't know what happened, what I did with it. But anyhow, as it may be, I remember it anyhow. So in front of you here is a doll called Bubbles from the 1920s. And she's in horrible condition. Just horrible. But I love her. She's beautiful, and I know she can be refixed and restored back to her beauty again. But let's look at her body. That is one dirty doll body. Okay, let's look at that. These bodies, what happens to them, these doll bodies, or to the doll, even to the whole doll, we're looking at the whole doll, what happens to these dolls and why they start looking like this, many reasons why. First of all is storage. Composition does not love cold. It does not like moisture. It does not like to be banged around. It can take some, but not a lot, and they will start to fall apart. One thing about composition, it loves one paint and one paint only. The only paint it really loves is oil paint. Now, acrylic has been laid across many of these dolls throughout time. Right or wrong as it may be, it has happened. A lot of these dolls from 1920s, by the time the 50s came in, a lot of people took their dolls to a little corner store or where there was a person in there that might have painted dolls, or to a little home somewhere where a little lady artist or a man artist could sit there in their home and repaint the doll again. But what happened is that 30 years later, it's the 1950s we're looking at, and a wonderful new paint came in called acrylic. Acrylic is a plastic paint, great for plastics, but not for wood. But they put this new paint right across on these old dolls. And these old dolls became older. And now here we are in 2020. And this is what we have. So what happened to this doll? Well, what's happened to her is that she was not left in the best of place. She was probably left in moisture. She was probably left in some place where it got hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Maybe in a basement. And that's what happens to these dolls as the years go by. Not all, but some. Some are kept in nice chest, in a good place. They come out not looking too bad. But again, we have one like this, and she's in horrible condition. Let's look at her even more, and I'll show you how horrible she looks. We'll turn her around. You can see a lot of her, she's got paint moss on the top of her head with a nice little hole right in the top of her head. Can you see that? I'm hoping you're seeing that there. Yeah, there we go. So anyhow, we'll put her back. This is Bubbles. She's a beautiful doll. There's something gorgeous about her, and you'll see that once she's restored. I didn't pay a whole lot for her. I probably paid, I think I paid about $5, $10 for her, for 16-inch Bubbles. And that's how you want to get them if you're into restoring. Now, if you're not, you want to probably pay a little bit more, and you will pay a little bit more for a beautiful Bubbles. And they will cost you. But when you get them like this here, you can bring up that beauty once more, and you can bring it from this horrible condition right back up to a gorgeous looking doll. Some work to be done on her? Yes. Now the thing is, Tiffany, you asked about the body. Now I'm going to take it both ways because I don't know what you meant by it, so I'm going to take two different angles with it. Were you going to keep the body and just put it away? Let's talk about that first. Well, let's talk about the easy one, throwing the body away. I suggest not to do that. That's the easy one, okay? Always keep the bodies. Even if you don't want to reuse them for anything else, you could sell it. You could give it to somebody. You could do something else with that, maybe. Here's the bottom line to it. The common denominator is that body can be used for many other things. Now, let's talk about baby Bubbles here. Baby Bubbles has a round upper torso with her arms attached into the torso. Here's the thing, she was not the only doll that was made like that. There were others with no names on them. And so if you were to purchase down the road a no-name doll of the same size and the same standard that needs a body like this, you could reuse that body on that doll. That body can be taken off and washed. Now, will it ever come back out to the brightness of the white? Maybe, maybe not. But you could take that body apart and you could reuse it many, many times down the road for another doll that you come across. You just don't know what's around the next bend that you might want to restore another doll in that same style. So, that being said, you might want to hold on to that body. Now, do you want to now here's another twist to it. If you want to resell that doll, or you just want to, if you're one that want to keep it to its originality, you might want to keep that body and keep it as original as possible, even though it has a lot of little child's play on it, from oils off their hands to snotty noses, tears, water of any other sort. They may be bathing their doll, whatever the case may be. That doll's body still is original to that doll that was made back in 1924. And so the thing is that a new body would look nice and bright and cheerful on the doll, but some people like originality. How original is your doll? That's up to you to decide. If you're the one that's going to keep that doll forever until the day you decide to pass it on to somebody else, that's fine then. You can also put the body in a bag and say, here's her original body. I built this body, I sewed it. This newer one because I didn't like the old one, but here's her original. Some people like that. If they can at least get the original body back, they can then put it back on her themselves. So I would appreciate myself having the original body to the doll back on the doll. I try to keep my dolls as original as possible. What comes with them, I like them to keep their eyes, their bodies, everything else about them as original as possible with them. Now the thing is that I noticed with your doll she had a lot of paint lifting. When I saw that type of paint lifting where you can just flick it off with your finger, it tells me she was pretty much painted with acrylic. And so she had a repaint done in the 1950s. When acrylic paint came out, all the plastic started to come out in your early 50s, late 40s, 50s in there. Because they were playing around with Magic Skin. That's why we have those, what we call, not Frankenstein dolls, but dolls with different materials on them. You have a composition head with maybe, they call it fairy skin or they call it magic skin dolls because it's supposed to feel like real skin, but they were playing with rubbers and plastics and everything, and it got better and better and better to where we are today. And so anyways, your lovely doll there has acrylic paint from the 1950s on it, which needs to come off, and the best paint to put back on your doll is oil paint. So I hope I helped you out. Oh, I just want to show you. I have a body of, right here, I'm going to show it to you. Now this came off of a no-name doll. The doll had no name, but I needed a body for an F&B doll. She was a big doll, about 30 inches. But the thing was, the F&B doll had only her arms, her head, and her chest plate. I had no legs. I had to go borrow legs from another doll for her. She was a double amputee doll. Somebody took her legs from her and probably used it on another doll, which I don't like seeing. You keep the doll as original as possible. But here's the flip side to it all. I was able to take her body off of her because she was a no-name. I had an F&B doll the same as her. Even in facial looks, they both shared the same face. So I took that body and off that doll, and I was able to build another doll up. So this is what happens when you buy other dolls that look the same. You can use them from one to the other. So if you can do that and rebuild up another doll, borrow legs, I guess, when the legs are stolen, that's the best way to do this. So that's why I say keep your doll bodies as much as you can. And if you can do that, if you don't, then either offer them to other restorers. Don't throw them away. There are other people out there that might say, hey, I'll take that doll body off your hands then. But if you know somebody out there, Say, look at, I have some doll bodies here that I just built new ones off of it. Do you want the old body? Because I'm not going to do this again. Don't throw them away. Offer them or sell them to somebody who might, you know, for a few bucks, and say, hey, for $5 you can have the body, you know, if that's what you want. Or, hey, look, I just want to gift you this. You know, you can do that for people. So just ideas. But it's almost atrocity to throw that body away. And that's what I'm saying, Tiffany, in the end. If you're keeping it to go with the doll, because you might give it away later, great. If you want to wash it and put it back on, great. If you want to make another doll body off of it and sew one up and put it on your doll, great. But keep the old one with it. I really stress keeping all original ties to that doll if you can. So anyways, I'll leave it there at that. I hope this was helpful to everybody, and that somebody out there who maybe wondered about this got something out of this. If you want to add down below in comments to what you do, great, I'll read them as well. And for Tiffany, read the comments down below. Everybody, sometimes there's some people with some great ideas when it comes to these type of things that we bring up and we talk about, what to do with the doll bodies or eyes or whatever. I've seen on eBay all kinds of rocker eyes just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what doll did they come out of? Why did they not put them back in? How did this happen, you know? Because me, I'm just like, I mean, great that you can buy them all, but there's a lot of dolls out there with no eyes. Now maybe I also think, well, maybe the head broke and they just threw away the head and pulled out the eyes. I don't know. But it bothers me when I see that, because I want to keep as much original to that doll as possible. I have bought dolls with no eyes and going, where are their eyes, you know, because they can't go too far. I had one doll that she has a bow in her hair that I have to finish, and her eyes were inside of her head. They had just fallen out, you know, and so when I took her apart, I was able just to pull her eyes out, and then we can plunk them right back in again. Great, you know, that's wonderful. But when it comes to just seeing a whole bunch of eyes there, I'm thinking, how many dolls out there are missing their eyes, and people are just having to put in other glass eyes, and they'll never have those rock or sleep eyes. I just wish people keep things together, and that's nice to have. Just to show you just how bad her body is also, I want to just show this one last thing. She's leaking out of her leg, and it almost feels like straw, not cork. I was wondering if this was cork, because sometimes they ground up cork and put it in, but it feels straw-like, so I think this is a Excelsior straw, maybe. Anybody else have a suggestion out there what you might think it is? Tell me. I'd probably say, yeah, you might be right, but it feels really dry and brittle. I've had dolls filled with cork, and it doesn't feel the same. So, but anyways, as it may be, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have one more, and this is a craft one I want to show you for Halloween. I want to show this, get it out there, and so that maybe you can do the same too. So hold on, another video coming. Bye-bye.